for Rexona sa atin.
Pag di confident sa biritan,
sorry.
napapastop.
Pag nandyan si crush, hi. Napapastop.
Pag may pawis sa commute,
Bayad po.
napapastop.
Ganyan talaga pag di protected against sweat and odor. Higo lang with ordinary soap, kulang.
Pero sa Rexona, unstoppable ka. Get unstoppable protection with daily use.
Sa #1 D-Lotion ng bayan.
8 pesos SRP lang.
Nangunguna sa balita, impormasyon, musika, komentaryo at serbisyo publiko. Ito ang DZME 1530. Una sa kanan, ang himpilang may paninindigan.
Likas sa Pinoy ang galing at husay sa paggawa profesional na tunay sa Pilipinas man o ibang bansa. Tinataas ang tas ng paggawa, kinikilala sa iba't ibang larangan. Sa iyong kamay may magandang kinabukasan. Ang Pinoy profesional sa mundo ay tangal yan ang tatak profesional. Ang Pinoy profesional sa mundo ay tangal yan ang tatak profesional. Tatak profesional, yan ang tatak profesional.
Maganda at mapagpalang araw sa ating local professionals, wherever you are, from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and whatever you do, as well as wherever you are in the different parts of the world. Magandang araw, Pilipinas, nating mahal. I am Bernardita Garcia from the Professional Regulatory Board of Optometry. I am your host for Tatak Professional Season 3. And today, together with me, my co-host, Katukayo, Honorable Bernadette Reyes from the Board of Physical and Occupational Therapy. And we are glad to say that we are on our 9th episode. Honorable Reyes.
I'm Bernadette Reyes from the Board of Physical Therapy and Occupational Therapy. We are pleased to have you join us today. Whatever it is that you're doing right now, we are excited to have you on board as we learn several information and several projects through our special guest. We are learning. We are lifelong learners, so we continue to journey through this learning. We are broadcasting live via DZME Teleradio and simultaneously live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and from the official website of the POPRB, so you can watch anytime, anywhere.
This program of Tatak Professional is brought to you by the POPRB. The POPRB is an association of the 46 professional regulatory board members under the supervision of the Professional Regulation Commission. Today's episode is about the Professional Regulation Commission. We will be updated by the Commission's policy and operation. Likewise, we will also look into strategies on how the PRC will better serve our country's professionals. So, sit back and relax, and we hope you will be with us for an hour to partake with us with the knowledge that our special guest will share. Be informed and be inspired. And when you do, work and perspire to action the pieces of information that today's episode will give you. But for now, we'll have some few reminders from our generous sponsors and be back with our learned and hardworking guest.
Nangunguna sa balita, impormasyon, musika, komentaryo at serbisyo publiko. Ito ang DZME 1530. Una sa kanan, ang himpilang may paninindigan.
Likas sa Pinoy ang galing at husay sa paggawa profesional na tunay. Sa Pilipinas man o ibang bansa, tinataas atas ng paggawa. Kinikilala sa iba't ibang larangan, sa iyong kamay may magandang kinabukasan. Ang Pinoy profesional sa mundo ay tangal yan ang tatak profesional. Ang Pinoy profesional sa mundo ay tangal yan ang tatak profesional. Tatak profesional, yan ang tatak profesional.
We're back. I am pleased and honored to introduce our guest this afternoon. Mr. Valera started working with the Commission as a contractual employee in 1996 and rose from the ranks, holding various assignments, including Chief of Staff of 2 chairpersons. When he assumed as the first regional director of NCR in 2019, in his first few months, Mr. Valera consistently expanded the office's service coverage through additional service centers in malls across the region, reaching more Filipino professionals. He zeroed a backlog of more than 3,000 pending applications of registration without examination and had the regional office ISO certified in 6 months upon assumption. He also steered the regional office through the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic by introducing and implementing timely policies and guidelines, and more importantly, ensuring support of all staff, especially those working in the front lines. Before assuming his post as the regional director of NCR, he headed the International Affairs Office of the PRC for over 15 years. Mr. Valera's efforts and hard work greatly contributed to the creation and development of this new office from an ad hoc unit into a directorate. With the new office, he provided technical and political policy support to the Commission in the regulation of practice of foreign professionals in the country. He also represented the PRC in trade negotiations concerning professional services under various international agreements such as free trade agreements, bilateral labor agreements, and regional cooperations, including those under the ASEAN Mutual Recognition Arrangements, or the MRAs. He was a member of the Philippine delegation in various trade agreements negotiations since 2018, including the Philippine-Japan Economic Partnership Agreement, or the PJEPA, Asian-Australia-New Zealand Free Trade Agreement, or the ANSFATA, and the recently signed Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or the RCEP. Mr. Valera likewise spearheaded the development of the mutual recognition of professional qualifications of MRPQ. The MRPQ is a complement to the ASEAN MRAs. This initiative aims to ease trade in professional services across countries by way adopting a less restrictive approach in the development of international collaboration instruments. At present, activities have been the recipient of funding support under the International Commitments Fund of the Department of Foreign Affairs. Ultimately, the initiative is directed to introducing and further strengthening the spot of Filipino professionals in the global stage. Mr. Valera studied philosophy at the University of Santo Tomas and Master in Government Management at the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila. He is also a recipient of various trade, negotiation, and leadership training programs in Geneva, Switzerland, Kolkata, India, and Glasgow, Scotland. Mr. Valera is a native of Bangued, Abra. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present to you, Sir, our ASCOM, Lord Louis Valera.
Thank you, Ma'am Nadette. That's quite of an introduction. Baka mas mahaba pa yung introduction kaysa doon sa isasagot ko sa mga tanong nyo. But yeah, muli, magandang hapon sa ating mga tiga-panood at tiga-pakinig.
Okay, before we proceed to our discourse and before we start asking you and putting you in the hot seat, we have to pause for a few reminders from our sponsors.
Nangunguna sa balita, impormasyon, musika, komentaryo at serbisyo publiko. Ito ang DZME 1530. Una sa kanan, ang himpilang may paninindigan.
Likas sa Pinoy ang galing at husay sa paggawa profesional na tunay. Sa Pilipinas man o ibang bansa, tinataas antas ng paggawa. Kinikilala sa iba't ibang larangan, sa iyong kamay may magandang kinabukasan. Ang Pinoy profesional sa mundo ay tangan yan ang tatak profesional. Ang Pinoy profesional sa mundo ay tangan yan ang tatak profesional. Tatak profesional, yan ang tatak profesional.
Yes, we're back. And before we proceed with our question and answer portion, we would like to have the audio-visual presentation prepared by our Honorable Assistant Commissioner Valera. So let's watch it.
Ako ay taimtim na nanunumpa na itataguyod ko at ipagtatanggol ang saligang batas ng Pilipinas. Professionals look after our health, teach our children, design our houses, build roads and bridges, safeguard lives and properties, and ensure the safety of our community. Professionals help improve the quality of our lives and the development of our country. Their sacrifices and hard work abroad help send children to school. Their expertise and tender loving care bring honor to our race among the community of nations.
May shortage po kasi ng medical doctor sa province namin especially sa remote areas. Kaya po ako nagdoktor.
Hard work and dedication made Romel Abellar Amos overcome all the obstacles that came his way to becoming a doctor in his hometown. He had to work as water refiller, merchandiser, baker, among others, while studying, in order to reach his dream and make a difference as a doctor. Despite the challenges many professionals endure, they make their way to be recognized globally. These professionals are among the millions of clients that this agency, the Professional Regulation Commission, or PRC, has been established and instituted for to serve. Under the Department of Labor and Employment and in compliance with the Labor and Employment Plan, the PRC supervises the 46 professional regulatory boards in the fields of health, business, education, social sciences, engineering and technology, which play a significant role in promoting the global competitiveness of 5 million registered professionals. PRC was first created as a national government agency by Presidential Decree Number 223, dated June 22, 1973, signed by then President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr., mandated to enforce the laws regulating the various professions. It was previously called the Office of the Board of Examiners, which was created by Republic Act No. 546 on June 17, 1950, under the aegis of the Civil Service Commission. However, even before, professions were regulated according to the laws of the community by our forefathers, like the Babaylans, Baylana, and Binukot, who served as advisors, herbalists, and healers of the sick. Along with the first agriculturists, educators, carpenters, and miners, among others, these early professionals shaped the daily lives of the barangay. When the Spaniards came, they introduced formal training with the establishment of Colegio de Santo Tomas in 1611, now UST, which later granted academic license in medicine and pharmacy. The Americans later institutionalized the Board of Dental Examiners in 1899, conducted examinations, and issued licenses. The first American census in 1903 tallied the number of professionals in the country at 25,637. Over the years, more regulatory boards were established. In 1974 to 1975, PRC became operational with the assumption of the first commissioner, Architect Eric C. Nubla, followed by the issuance of Proclamation No. 1646, which declared a Professional Consciousness Week. The promulgation of the implementing rules and regulations of PD No. 223 and the computerization of the database of registered professionals with the assistance of the National Computer Center, and with the introduction of the Internet during the 80s and the 90s, the PRC quickly adapted by partially computerizing the licensure examinations for physicians, midwives, accountants, medical technologists, and nurses. Executive Order No. 200, signed by President Fidel Ramos, institutionalized the full computerization for all licensure examinations. Executive Order No. 266 made continuing professional education mandatory for the renewal of professional identification cards. Bringing its services closer to the people, PRC decentralized its operations with the establishment of field offices in Baguio, Legazpi, Cebu, Davao, and Cagayan de Oro, the adoption of the vision and mission, and the first commission strategic plan, and the awarding of the ISO 9002 certification by the Anglo-Japanese American Environmental Quality and Safety Certification. These initiatives towards modernization gained momentum with the approval of Republic Act No. 8981, or the PRC Modernization Act of 2000, by President Joseph Ejercito Estrada. The act provides for modernization in technology, systems, and organizational structure. Technological modernization came with the conduct of walk-in examination and online application system in 2006. Then, in 2016, the Continuing Professional Development, or the CPD, was institutionalized through Republic Act No. 10912. The CPD program ensures the maintenance of competence and fitness to practice of professionals. In addition, professionals can enhance their qualification and move to higher levels in its Philippine Qualifications Framework through the Career Progression and Specialization Program as provided in the CPD law. The reorganization in 2017 upgraded the PRC to a department-level agency, which enabled the recruitment of more qualified, competent, and proficient personnel. On the other hand, the Citizens Charter of the Commission provides the transacting public the standards of the various processes and services that the agency offers. Through the years, the PRC stayed true to its commitment to protecting and promoting the public interest, welfare, health, and safety. From then until today, as the Commission's journey continues and its role remains to grow and expand, the agency has marched its way from the local to the global platform. It evolved into an internationally recognized licensing and regulatory agency and fostered professionals to be competitive both locally and globally by developing skills and improving qualification standards. Mutual recognition agreements, mutual recognition of professional qualifications arrangements, and other bilateral agreements open the doors of career opportunities abroad for Filipino professionals. These professionals are the muse behind what the PRC seal embodies, the vast source of knowledge and technology of a professional nurtured by the guiding embrace of professional regulation. PRC is committed to bring service excellence closer to the people. Hence, enshrined in its vision and mission are its core values: professional excellence, competitiveness, resiliency, transparency, quality, efficiency, accountability, and integrity. With its transformation for good governance and engagement into e-services and digitalization, PRC believes that the advancement of a nation is prefaced on its professionals. Pursuant to its Citizens Charter, the PRC serves its clients 24/7 through online services as part of its digitalization program with the development, deployment, and implementation of the following systems: Licensure Examination and Registration Information System, Computer-Based Licensure Examination System, Client Relationship Management System, Accreditation and Compliance Online Application System, Correction and Releasing System, Executive Information System, Planning Administrative and Financial Management Information System. On its 50th year, the PRC remains resilient and unwavering in the service of professionals. With its golden past, the PRC is boldly confident to face the future, steadfast in empowering the professionals who pledge to abide by their oaths of service to the nation. Taimtim akong nanunumpa na sa lahat ng panahon at pook na kinaroroonan ay mahigpit kong panghahawakan ang mga etikal at tuntuning profesional sa Pilipinas. At marapat kong gagampanan ng buong husay sa abot ng aking makakaya ang mga tungkulin at pananagutang iniatang sa isang profesional dahil ako, ikaw, tayo ay mga lingkod bayan. Mula sa PRC, tungo sa inyo, mula noon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong bold at gold.
Okay. Can I shoot the first question, sir?
Of course, Doc.
Okay. One of the current projects of the Commission is the computer-based licensure examination. What is the computer-based licensure examination all about?
Right. Thank you, Ma'am Nadette. The CBA, the computer-based licensure exams, or the CBLE, is, well, basically the examination that we give, we administer. But we did away, or we're doing away with the rigors of a paper and pencil examination, like yung pag-apply, yung paggawa ng exams, yung paghihintay ng medyo matagal ng results. So dahil computer-based na siya, facilitated na ito, Ma'am Nadette. And well, it was the maiden deployment of the system. It was in November or December 2021. We had it tried with the geologist licensure examination towards the end of the last quarter.
Okay, and so where are we now in terms of the status of the CBLE operation?
Yeah. Well, dahil bago ito, Ma'am Nadette, no? Hindi ganon kabilis na establish yung confidence ng mga ng ibang boards. The members of the board, the stakeholders, even the examinees, we get some some feedback na hindi pa sila masyadong komportable o kampante kasi dahil nga nasanay dun sa lumang format na paper, na pen and paper. Pero sa ngayon ang standing policy ng commission diyan ay option siya. So kung ang board ay mas komportable sa paper and pencil format, then yun
pwede
pa
rin.
Oo. Yung mga medyo mas mabilis na ma-establish nila yung confidence nila, then they're doing the CBLE. But the general direction and ultimately, Ma'am Nadette, ay magiging computer-based licensure exams na tayo lahat. Ngayon, nagsisimula tayo sa mga medyo maliliit ang number na examinees kasi kasama ito sa mga challenges.
Oo nga. At saka ilan pa lang na professions had or are under the CBLE program. You can't do that for large populated large groups of professionals or those examinees who belong to the bigger professions.
Yeah, tama po 'yun kasi nung binanggit ko kanina na may mga challenges and ito yung mga reason na hindi pa nila na-establish yung confidence nila. Una, yung challenges natin sa infrastructure. So may kaakibat kasi na infrastructure to and system. So dapat meron tayong sapat na computer units.
Yes.
Meron tayong
terminals.
Meron tayong tamang venue. Kasi kung kunwari malaki yung number, dapat meron tayong isang malaking venue. Again, the ideal state of the CBLE is meron na tayong talagang fixed na venue for the computer-based licensure exams. Ngayon po kasi, ang ginagamit natin na venue ay yung lugar natin sa main office, yung NUBLA, yung function area natin na malaki sa taas, o di kaya yung office premises natin sa PICC. But again, ultimately, ang tungo natin ay magkaroon tayo ng permanente na venue for these exams. At kung mababanggit ko din po, Ma'am Nadette, ngayon NCR pa lang gumagawa nito. But when we deployed it initially nung 2021 December 2021, may mga ibang regional jurisdictions din identified na sila ang una na magde-deploy. These are CAR, Cordillera Administrative Region, meron tayong opisina kasi doon, Region 1, Region 4A, Region 5 sa Legazpi, at saka Region 11 sa Davao.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Very interesting, mga televiewers, no? In fact, we had our first CBLE in optometry last October.
Right. Tama daw.
And that is very challenging, though. But it is interesting, and we're happy that we were able to apply the CBLE.
Yeah, you're at least you can claim that you're one of the first batch to be able to establish the confidence in deploying it.
Okay po. So, napakaganda ng ating usapan, but we need to pause for our few reminders.
Nangunguna sa balita, impormasyon, musika, komentaryo at serbisyo publiko. Ito ang DZME 1530. Una sa kanan, ang himpilang may paninindigan.
Likas sa Pinoy ang galing at husay sa paggawa profesional na tunay. Sa Pilipinas man o ibang bansa, tinataas antas ng paggawa. Kinikilala sa iba't ibang larangan, sa iyong kamay may magandang kinabukasan. Ang Pinoy profesional sa mundo ay tangan yan ang tatak profesional. Ang Pinoy profesional sa mundo ay tangan yan ang tatak profesional. Tatak profesional, yan ang tatak profesional.
Yes, so we are back. And we hope that you are still with us, just like with our special guest. So, Honorable ASCOM, we do have CBLE, but we also have another interesting programs and project by the PRC. We have the SPLE. So this is Special Professional Licensure Examination. Can you help us and walk us through with this Special Professional Licensure Examination so that our listener will be guided if they are really interested, wherever they may be?
Thank you, Doc. Yeah, siguro pwede kong simulan pagsagot ng tanong sa pagbabanggit na did you know that practically every day may exams tayo? Yeah, kasi 46 professions. And then most of them conduct their licensure exams twice or even thrice a year.
Yes.
Yung mga medyo maliliit once a year. But then again, puno ho yan. Ang mga examinees natin nanggagaling sa probinsya or doon na sila sa probinsya kung meron tayong presence doon, marami rin nanggagaling sa ibang bansa. So nung 2009, meron pong executive order na inilabas at the executive order mandated the commission and the Department of Labor at saka ang DFA na dapat si PRC may kakayahan o kaya dapat mag-conduct ng licensure examinations din sa ibang bansa kung saan mataas ang concentration ng ating mga OFWs. Right. So ginawa po ito. So essentially that is the SPLE. Yung exams na ginagawa natin dito sa Pilipinas, dinadala natin doon. Imbes na yung mga ating prospective examinees or professionals silang uuwi, tayo na lang ang sasadya sa kanila, sparing them the cost of coming home.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, talking about bringing the licensure examination to the different places. Diba, ASCOM, meron po yung mga locations or venue, hindi naman lahat pwedeng maging venue. So, perhaps there will be criteria in the selection or designation of the venue.
Tama, Doc. Diba, binanggit ko po kanina na we identified the jurisdictions or countries wherein merong mataas na concentration ng ating OFWs. So kadamihan kasi dito madaming Pinoy, 'di ba, sa Middle East. So ito ang Middle East ang unang naging venue ng ating SPLE. At kung pag-uusapan naman ho yung criteria, meron din na establish kasi nung ipinasa yung executive order, si PRC naman gumawa ng kanyang sariling issuance wherein it defined the criteria in identifying what particular country we can deploy or we can conduct the SPLE. So kung pwede kong banggitin, una, dapat meron tayong existing diplomatic relations with them. So, importante yon. At saka that's very fundamental in any international undertaking. Dapat kaibigan natin yung nasyon na yon o yung gobyerno na yon. Pangalawa, kahit kaibigan natin yan, pero kunyari merong kaguluhan, merong challenge sa peace and order doon sa bansa na yon, hindi natin basta-basta pwedeng isama kasi again, kailangan din natin pangalagaan ang safety ng ating delegasyon na pupunta doon. Kasi if I can mention, pag nagkakandak ho tayo ng special licensure examination abroad, malaki ang delegasyon natin. Madaming tao ang pinapalabas ho natin. So kailangan din alagaan yon. Pangatlo, dapat cost efficient. So at least merong 300 na prospective examinees. So ito po yung magic number natin. At
total examinees. You're
sa isang
talking of
territory
combined
sa isang kunwari sa Riyadh, gagawin doon sa Riyadh.
Okay.
At least 300.
At least 300.
Kung meron ka sa Dubai, at least 300 doon sa Dubai. Sa isang venue, sa isang station. Yun po yun, yung 300 na yun.
Pero for every profession ba, is there a minimum number?
Wala.
Basta, taken as one whole.
Yung aggregate nung venue po na yon. At pang-apat, kailangan din matingnan natin, ma-verify natin na yung identified examination venue ay compliant sa ating criteria. So, hindi pwedeng basta isang lugar, ganyan, pwede mo lagyan ng upuan at lamesa, pwede na, ganyan. So, may criteria din na na-establish sa ating issuance. So, ito po yun yung mga kailangan natin i-consider bago natin magawa yung SPLE sa isang bansa.
So what are these countries, Ascon? Can you identify these countries that you have?
Yes, Ma'am Nadette. Dito sa aking listahan, Dubai and Abu Dhabi sa UAE, Doha, we did administer exams already there. Qatar, lagi ito. Sa Riyadh at Jeddah, lagi din silang venue. And etong recently nag-conduct na rin tayo ng exams sa Bangkok at saka sa Singapore.
What about Hong Kong?
Yeah, we did once. Once or twice. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Padami ang ating venues.
That's good.
Okay po. So, kung padami ng padami and there are other countries who would like to have an SPLE in their place, ano po yung procedure for them to be qualified?
Yung mga aplikante, Doc, ang ibig natin sabihin.
Ano po? Yung designated venues. At tulad yan, recently, Bangkok. O halimbawa, gusto nung iba sa Korea, sa China. So, may mga interested na kasi maraming professionals doon or examinees, mga 300. Gusto naman nila magkaroon sila ng SPLE sa area nila. So, meron pa tayong specific procedures for them to apply.
Thank you, Doc. So, ganun din, no? Dapat, conscious tayo dun sa criteria natin. So, yung binanggit natin kanina. And then, sa proseso naman, dapat merong formal communication. Usually nanggagaling yung request or formal communication dun sa mga professional organizations natin doon.
That's right.
Opo. Kung walang professional organization doon na umiiral, po pwedeng yung Filipino community doon. And then yes, ma'am. Tapos yung request na yon dapat endorsed by the Department of Foreign Affairs kasi hindi natin pwedeng isagawa ang ating SPLE doon kung walang proper sanction, walang proper imprimatur or walang proper guidance na ibinibigay ang ating embahada doon. At kasama din natin diyan ang DMW, POLO dati yung Philippine Overseas Labor Office, pero ngayon yung DMW na. Yung katumbas
Department
ng POLO sa Department of Migrant Workers, ma'am.
Yun, kasi hindi naman pala basta-basta yung isang country ma-include in the SPLE.
Alam mo, kami sa physical therapy, we've already participated in 3 SPLEs, I think. And naging benefit talaga to our professionals in the Middle East kasi hindi sila ma-promote pagka hindi sila pumasa sa examination and become licensed, no? So,
at
instead of
ang
coming
challenge,
home.
ang challenge nila ay hindi sila makauwi. Hindi dahil costly ito or hindi nila kaya, pero hindi sila makakuha ng bakasyon.
Exactly. In the meantime, they couldn't be promoted or they couldn't get any salary adjustment because they're not yet licensed in the country of origin. So it's really beneficial. I see the benefit of the SPLE to our professionals.
Tama po, kasi napakahirap sa isang OFW na hindi siya licensed pa. At kawawa naman. Thus, may I ask, ano-ano po yung mga licensure examination professional that is included in our SPLE?
Yeah, kasi nagsimula po ito nung 2009. So, madami-dami na rin ho. Nabanggit nga po ni Ma'am Nadette, sila din sa profession nila, tatlong beses na sila na nakapag SPLE. So dito po sa aking listahan, as of April 2023, we did architects, CPAs, chemical engineers, civil engineers, electronic engineers, electronic technicians, environmental planners, geodetic engineers, we did them already also, master plumbers and mechanical engineers, certified plant mechanics, midwives, nurses, psychometricians, teachers, kasama ho sila, physical therapists, ito na po yung profession ni Ma'am Nadet, radiologic technologists, x-ray technologists, real estate brokers. Register. Inisip ko nga, kaninong lupa kaya yung bebenta nila doon?
Oo nga.
Registered electrical engineers, registered master electricians, respiratory therapists, social workers, at veterinarians. Yan po sila. Mahaba-haba na ang listahan.
Oh, more than 20 as I am counting it. More than 20, marami-rami na. Kaya nga po, perhaps yung iba natin mga Pilipino overseas workers would like to have an SPLE. So, paano naman po ang procedure para sila makapag-apply?
Well, it's pretty much the same. Doon sa, kung kunwari, nandito ka sa Pilipinas, kasi if I can mention it also, ma'am, computerized na ang ating system. The entire licensure examination computerized na. So kasama na diyan yung pag-apply. So you can actually apply anytime, anywhere. Kasi you do it online. You do it from the end of your own gadget, computer mo, telepono mo, ganyan. So kung nasa ibang bansa ka, ganun din. You do your application online, and sa proseso po kasi ng application for exams, meron pa rin dyan aspeto na kailangan mong pumunta sa ating tanggapan para i-submit ang mga documentary requirements mo. So, syempre, dahil nandun sila, hindi sila makakapunta sa ating mga counters and service centers, ipapasa nila yun sa kanilang professional organization or PPO ang tawag natin sa kanila. Kung sino yung nag-request na magkaroon ng exams doon. And then, the transmittal of the documents is facilitated by the embassy. So, matatanggap natin yung dokumento na yun. Pero ito sa mga initial applicant lang ito, Doc. Kasi ngayon, sa system natin, kung umuulit ka lang, ibig sabihin, hindi ka na first time applicant, hindi mo na kailangan, kahit nandito ka, hindi mo na kailangan pumunta sa mga tanggapan natin. So, yung notice of admission, yung dokumento na dadalhin ng examinee kapag pumunta siya sa examination venue niya, siya na magpiprint sa kanya. So, facilitated na talaga.
Wow, ang ganda. Maganda ng procedure, madali ng procedure. Kaya mga televiewers, listeners, so who are watching right now, at yung mga kaibigan, kamag-anak, perhaps you would like to have an SPLE if you are there working abroad. Kayang-kaya na po yan. No? Kayang-kaya nyo na magampanan yan. So, before we proceed with this very interesting discussion, again, we would like to pause for our few reminders from our sponsors.
Nangunguna sa balita, impormasyon, musika, komentaryo at serbisyo publiko. Ito ang DZME 1530. Una sa kanan, ang himpilang may paninindigan.
Likas sa Pinoy ang galing at husay sa paggawa profesional na tunay. Sa Pilipinas man o ibang bansa, tinataas atas ng paggawa. Kinikilala sa iba't ibang larangan, sa iyong kamay may magandang kinabukasan. Ang Pinoy profesional sa mundo ay tangan yan ang tatak profesional. Ang Pinoy profesional sa mundo ay tangan yan ang tatak profesional. Tatak profesional, yan ang tatak profesional.
We're back, and we still have Honorable Valera on board. Before we go to the next topic, let me just ask the question. Yung naiwan kanina, no? So, how many professionals do you think benefited from the SPLE?
SPLE. Yeah. Katulad ng binanggit ko kanina, we continue to expand. So, venues-wise, kung saan ilang bansa tayo pumupunta, at saka pati yung number ho ng applicants. Paakyat pa rin ho siya ng paakyat. Sa ating listahan ho, as of yet, we have served 22,371 OFWs already. And for 2023, 5,330 took the exams.
5,000.
So pataas po ng pataas. Kaya talagang we are really making sure that this program is sustained.
Correct. Huh? Okay, so the moment our graduates pass their licensure examination abroad, how are they recognized by the country where they belong or where they are working? So the topic now will be the mutual recognition of the countries, our country, and the country where they are working. So what is ASEAN mutual recognition arrangement as well as the benefit of our professional?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Doc. Paano ba sisimulan ipaliwanag yan? Ang MRA ho kasi, o yung ASEAN MRAs na tinutukoy natin, these are instruments signed by the member states of the ASEAN, yung 10 bansa na yon. And in short, the intention of the document is to ensure that the qualifications of a professional coming from any member state ay recognized or given credit or given value by the other state that he is trying to establish practice on.
Yep.
So siguro po para maintindihan natin yung value niya, technically speaking po kasi, kunyari, yung Filipino mechanical engineer, pag pumunta siya sa isang bansa, say Singapore, hindi naman automatic na nire-recognize yung credentials
That's
mo.
right. Yes, sir.
And again, theoretically speaking, yung bansa na pupuntahan mo, pwede kanyang i-require na establish na tama or sound or may value yung credentials mo. Kahit pati yung elementary education mo or yung secondary education mo, lalo na yung college mo, at lalong-lalo na yung lisensya mo. Oo. Yung MRA, para pong ang value niya or ang purpose niya o ang trabaho niya ay antemano, pinag-usapan niyo na ito yung component ng aking basic education. Ito ang component ng aking license. Ito ang component ng aking qualification. So you have already pre-established the confidence of the prospective country or the country that you intend to establish your practice on. So pagdating mo doon, ipakita mo na lang yung lisensya mo.
So is it safe to say na kung meron tayong mutual recognition agreement with the country, it will facilitate the easier, transfer of professional to that particular country?
Definitely, madam. Yun ang totoong value niya. Although kung babasahin mo yung teksto ng mga MRAs, meron pa rin diyan nakalagay na subject to the domestic laws and regulations, of course. Kasi syempre hindi naman po pwedeng mas mataas yung antas hindi naman po pwedeng exempted ka kunyari doon sa mga measures, sa mga guidelines ng pagpractice ng isang professional doon. So minsan yun ang nakakatanggap ng hindi masyadong tama na interpretasyon kapag walang value, hindi ba walang value yung MRA kasi subject to the compliance or subject to the domestic laws and regulation pa rin. Hindi yun ang tukoy niya. So nandun pa rin yung value of the establishment of the confidence on your credentials.
So parang pre-qualification.
Tama yun, ma'am.
I think na mas madali, yun na nga, I think the word is it facilitates the easier or the the quicker
Opo.
application and evaluation of documents.
Yes, so for the interest of time, perhaps we will proceed with another topic. Balik tayo sa Pilipinas. So, dito naman po sa Pilipinas, the PRC has several projects trying to reach our clients here, especially in the far-flung areas. So, in what ways does the PRC help our professionals located in those mentioned areas?
Thank you, Doc. Well, unang-una, we are present already in all regional jurisdictions. So, from car to bar. Nandun na ho tayo. And aside from our presence in these regional seats, meron din ho tayong mga service centers. So katulad ho dito sa NCR, meron tayong 6 na service centers, and they are strategically located in malls and LGUs.
So talagang malawak na yung reach ng, nakikita mo talaga na madali nang abutin.
Wala nang reason para masabing hindi siya makarenew kasi napakalayo pa ng pupuntahan.
Tama, Doc. So, yung presence natin sa mga lugar na ito ay this is on top of the computerized system na natin. So, hindi mo na kailangan dati, di ba, ilang beses tayong pumunta sa ating mga tanggapan para doon sa initial aspect of the process. Right. Babalik, 2-3 beses kang babalik. Ngayon, gagawin mo na lahat in the comfort of your home through your gadget. And then, pupunta ka na lang sa ating tanggapan pag claim mo na yung kailangan mong dokumento. At ngayon nga, pwede na rin ihatid sa bahay mo kasi meron tayong partnership sa ating mga courier services. So,
Talaga.
Okay, so sa reiteration, na-mention ni ASCOM na ang Office Services Center, Offsite Services, is about 8 regions, 8 areas. Okay, so we highly appreciate the presence of our Assistant Commissioner, who is very knowledgeable with regards to the information on the updates, mandates, and current trends of PRC. Nakakalungkot na ang sabihin na dahil na limited lang ang time, but we hope that we will have another session pertaining to this, ang in-depth discussion, mga plans ni ASCOM for the PRC in the future. Yeah, so at the moment, let us pause for our reminders.
Nangunguna sa balita, impormasyon, musika, komentaryo at serbisyo publiko. Ito ang DZME 1530. Una sa kanan, ang himpilang may paninindigan.
Likas na Pinoy ang galing at husay sa paggawa profesional na tunay. Sa Pilipinas man o ibang bansa, tinataas antas ng paggawa. Kinikilala sa iba't ibang larangan, sa iyong kamay may magandang kinabukasan. Ang Pinoy profesional sa mundo ay tangan yan ang tapat profesional. Ang Pinoy profesional sa mundo ay tangan yan ang tapat profesional. Tapat profesional, yan ang tapat profesional.
Wow, you've shared a lot, ASCOM.
Yes.
Ang dami nating natutuhan.
Grabe.
Oo nga. So, would you have some parting words or, some message to the professionals listening and watching right now?
sige, Ma'am Nadette. Thank you. Nakita ho natin doon sa actually the full breadth of our discussion na emphasize natin diyan yung mga programa yung mga proyekto ng PRC at makikita natin na iisa lang ang tungo niya, padalihin ang proseso, itaas ang antas ng serbisyo, dalhin ang serbisyo mismo sa ating mga professional. So, minsan kasi nakakalungkot na meron pa rin tayong naririnig, nalalaman na nagiging biktima ng mga fixers. Kasi minsan, 'di ba, they provide them the false narrative na mahirap pa rin ang proseso, masusungit ang tao, mahaba ang pila, kung ano-ano. Well, sabi ko nga, that is the narrative of a fixer. Kailangan niyang establish, kailangan niyang sabihin na kailangan mo siya. Pero hindi na po. Maganda na ang serbisyo ng PRC. Nandyan na kami sa inyo. Hindi nyo na kami kailangan puntahan o magpakahirap na puntahan. So, be wary. Siguro yun lang ang mensahe ko, Ma'am Nadette. Doc. Be wary. Do your transactions directly with us. Nandyan ang aming website. User-friendly yan. Kung meron kaming kailangan marinig at malaman from their end, madali din ho kaming masabihan. So, yun lang po siguro. Ma'am Nadette, Doc.
So, ayan na.
Thank you,
We heard it from our Assistant Commissioner, Lord Luis Valera. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Always
and
a pleasure, Nadette.
We have to have another session with
yes, of course.
With you again, no? So, before we say goodbye, we'd like to remind our listeners and viewers that Tatak Professional, is on every Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. On December 1, our 10th episode, our guests will be the Professional Regulatory Board of Geodetic Engineering. And this is going to be very timely because of the recent incidences of disasters, yung ating mga earthquakes, etc., and how this will affect the practice of the geodetic engineers. No, so please stay abreast with what is going on in our professions. No, so Doc Ditas, I think very rich ang information that we gathered today, no?
Yes.
Even kami po sa board, sa regulatory boards, minsan namamangha din kami sa change, the development that PRC has made, no, through the years. We are...
Tama po. And it is our privilege, kami ni Honorable Nadette, to be with our special guest, ASCOM, because we were enlightened. We were enriched with our knowledge. So we hope that our televiewers also had that kind of experience. And as of today, we also encourage our other POP-RB members, our PRBs, our APOs, and all our lifelong learners to watch this Tatak Professional every Friday. You will really be surprised. Ang dami-dami po naming topics. There are so many things in store for you. Kita nyo na, isa na yung kanina. And we hope that we will have another session with the Assistant Commissioner. Marami pa, no? Marami pang project yan, sir, no? Okay, so with this, thank you very much. And we hope to see you again next week.
Thank you. Good afternoon,
Good afternoon,
everyone.
and
Thank you,
bye-bye.
Sir Bang.
Likas na Pinoy ang galing at husay sa paggawa profesional na tunay. Sa Pilipinas man o ibang bansa, tinataas antas ng paggawa. Kinikilala sa iba't ibang larangan sa iyong